Hey, what's up, everybody? We got some news about Darkrai. Hope you guys had a great Cresselia versus Darkrai event. I don't know about you guys, but I'm also feeling like this picture that I saw on Reddit. Tiny Snorlax. It's pretty much is just what it's like after 2 weeks of nonstop focus on getting Snorlax strength as high as possible, planning, prepping. A lot of us are probably out of good camp tickets at this point, so it definitely feels slow, definitely feels like we can kind of reset. I just wanted to get into the news. We have news about Darkrai. So news about an upcoming event related to Darkrai. I'm just going to read through this, talk a little bit about it. Thanks to all researchers' efforts, Darkrai's looming nightmares have been dispelled. The Pokemon tormented by nightmares are now sleeping peacefully. That's great news. Pikachu looked very sad in that one picture we saw at the beginning of the event. But there are still mysteries surrounding the mythical Pokemon Darkrai, and we would like to tell you about an upcoming event related to Darkrai. Details about Darkrai. Darkrai is a dark type, if you didn't know. It is appearing at no location, so this confirms that we are probably not going to ever see another Darkrai spawn. But if you haven't caught Darkrai during the event, there's good news, and I'll get to that in a second. Its sleep type is dozing, which is strange because we'll never see it again. But I guess since we did see it at least once, it does have to have some type of sleep style. So it is a dozing type. Its main skill is Bad Dreams. We've already been over this. Charge Strength M. It's basically a super buffed version of Charge Strength M, as it normally appears in Pokemon like Ampharos or Espeon. But in this case, it has a secondary effect where it reduces 12 energy from any Pokemon on your team that is not a dark type. But the main bonus is that this Charge Strength M is really like a Charge Strength L. At max, it can give you up to 13,000 strength at base. If you tack on Research Area bonus, you're looking at like 24,000 strength at max area bonus. The mythical Pokemon Darkrai is a mythical Pokemon, if you didn't know. You can befriend only one of each mythical Pokemon species, so this confirms what I was talking about in my recent video. When we see Pokemon like Darkrai have a max friendship level, it means that you can't catch anymore. So I don't think we'll see that for Pokemon like Eevee. Some people have gotten up to friendship level 100 with Eevee, guaranteeing gold skills in the first 3 slots. Still not at max. That makes me really curious about how max friendship level works and what it exactly means, because we do also have news about friendship levels. This Pokemon's specialty is All, possessing characteristics of all the following specialties: berries, ingredients, and skills. So what does that mean? So Darkrai, if you notice, if you caught it, it has 2 wiki berries available like a berry specialist would. Ingredient and skill specialist only collect 1 berry. Darkrai has 2. It is also a skill specialist, meaning it can bank up to 2 skills rather than just 1. It is also an ingredient specialist. So if you notice, the first ingredient it has is sausage, and it does get 2 of them. Normally, a skill specialist or a berry specialist would only receive 1 of the first ingredient slot it has. So that's what it means by all specialties. It has the bonuses that all specialties give. When you befriend this Pokemon, it won't have subskills or a second and third ingredient slot that can be unlocked. So there is confirmation we will be able to unlock these subskills. We will be able to unlock the second and third ingredient slots. We just don't necessarily know exactly how that's going to work, but we're going to find out likely during this event. This Pokemon's nature and its first ingredient slot will be identical for each researcher. So I got I think a bashful nature. I'm not sure if other people got a bashful nature. Essentially, it just doesn't have an effect. It doesn't have an up or down boost from the nature. It doesn't note if we can change its nature, which is super interesting and lends me to believe there may be some item in the future that we can get to change Darkrai's nature and potentially change other Pokemon's natures. Because why would they give us a Pokemon that can't have a nature? I find that really interesting. Maybe that's just the plan where natures are not included for mythical Pokemon, but it really does lend me to believe that there is some type of possibility to change natures with an item, maybe in the future, or through the Darkrai event that's coming up. We'll have to find out. Mythical Pokemon are also considered special Pokemon. This is the same as legendary Pokemon. Basically, what a special Pokemon is it has to fall under the classification that we know of now as legendary or mythical, and you can only have one of them on your team. So you can't run a team of 5 Darkrai, obviously, because you can't have more than one Darkrai. but you can't run Darkrai and Suicune, or Darkrai and Raikou, or Darkrai and Cresselia. You can only have one special Pokemon on your team. So about future events. Darkrai is shrouded in mystery and isn't yet able to unleash its true power. We are planning to hold an event where you can unlock Darkrai's sub-skills and ingredient slots and unleash its true power. Also, during the event, researchers who couldn't befriend Darkrai during the Cresselia vs. Darkrai event might be able to befriend Darkrai. We hope you're looking forward to this. What this tells me is that there is a very strong chance that you're going to be able to befriend Darkrai during this upcoming event. In fact, if you played the Cresselia vs. Darkrai event and just logged sleep every day, it was noted that you could unlock the final research rank to unlock Darkrai. You really just needed to participate in the event to get enough event drowsy power to get to that research rank. So they're making it as easy as possible to catch Darkrai so long as you participate in the event. So I don't see why anyone who didn't get it during the Cresselia versus Darkrai event, whether you were busy, couldn't log sleep, couldn't really participate, now you want to get it, I think you have a good chance of getting it during this next event. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. We are going to be able to catch a mythical even if we miss out on its introductory event. That's good news for people that weren't able to catch it during the original event. Next, I'm going to go over the maintenance in version 2.7 update. This is really big and I'm excited about what they've done with this, and I think there's some really cool features here. Thank you for playing Pokemon Sleep. You're welcome. To update to the app's new version, maintenance will be conducted during the following time period: April 17th, 2025 at 12:30 a.m. When exactly is April 17th? April 17th is in 2 days. It's Thursday. So new features. This is exciting. Preparation for a new event. Dream Shard Week Volume 1. I'm really excited about this. We've never had a Dream Shard week, so I'm really curious what that means. I have a feeling I know why they're doing a Dream Shard Week. One is because probably a lot of us have spent Dream Shards to power up Pokemon in preparation for the Cresselia versus Darkrai event, and some of us are really interested in powering up our Cresselia or Darkrai, but it can be expensive. Legendary Pokemon require the most candies, the most Dream Shards to power up per level. And with Darkrai, we actually have a whole new level of leveling curve. And what do I mean by leveling curve is Pokemon that are not legendary, like a Bulbasaur, for example, level at the same rate as a Squirtle or a Charizard. They all follow the same curve. Each level has the same amount of experience that's required to get it to the next level. Pseudo-legendary Pokemon like Dragonite or Pokemon like Tyranitar, the only two pseudo-legendaries in the game actually classifies these Pokemon as sub-legendaries. These Pokemon require even more experience per level to level up. That means more candies and more Dream Shards are required in order to get it to the next level. Then there's legendary Pokemon. That's the next level up on these leveling curves. These Pokemon require even more experience per level, and of course that translates to more candy and more Dream Shards. And then finally, we now have a mythical class, and that's going to be applicable to Darkrai because it's the only mythical. So Darkrai is going to require the most candy, the most Dream Shards, the most experience to get to the next level. So level 25 to 26 will feel much different when leveling a Darkrai as it would a Bulbasaur. Hello again, I am inside now. It was just getting way too windy out there, so I just decided to come back inside. I think Dream Shard Week is very much needed as a lot of us are looking to power up Pokemon like Cresselia or Darkrai, or bring our Pokemon up to level 65, which we will see later in this news article right here. So addition of a new feature, befriending badges. Befriending badges is huge. This is a big new feature for a lot of us who have high friendship levels with a lot of Pokemon we are still looking to get good versions of. When you raise each Pokemon species friendship level to a certain point, you can earn a befriending badge for that Pokemon species. Befriending badges have 3 ranks and can be sequentially obtained based on friendship level. Each of the 3 befriending badges has its own effects, and they primarily exert their effects during sleep research when you encounter a Pokemon species you've already obtained a befriending badge for. Each Pokemon species befriending badge can be viewed in the sleep style decks. Alright, now let's go into the 3 different levels of befriending badges. The first one is the bronze badge. The first sub-skill will always be gold for Pokemon you encounter that are the same species. So if you unlock the bronze badge for a Pokemon, let's say Pikachu, for example, you get the bronze badge because you've raised its friendship level, you will now be guaranteed a gold skill in the first slot. This has already been the case for friendship level 10 and above before this update, but now we have a specific badge for it. There's also another effect. You'll have an increased chance to encounter shiny Pokemon whose species you have a bronze badge for, the silver badge. The befriending badge effect that always makes certain subskills gold can now be toggled on or off for each subskill. This is interesting because when we would reach friendship level 40 before this update, we didn't have this option, but it's also interesting that you have to at least get a silver badge in order to unlock this option. So if you have a bronze badge, you will get gold skills in the first slot, but they will be guaranteed and you cannot toggle them, but with the silver badge you can. The second subskill will always be gold for Pokemon you encounter that are the same species. New profile icons will unlock. I'm particularly excited about this new feature. Since I've caught a Heracross, I have had it as my profile icon. Heracross is my favorite Pokemon, so being able to unlock the silver badge once I've caught enough of them will be really fun because I'll be able to further show my love for Heracross through my profile icon. I'm really excited about that. If you have a silver badge for a Pokemon species, it will be easier to encounter a shiny one. This is great if you're a shiny hunter because it incentivizes you to catch more of the same Pokemon to eventually have the highest chances possible to encounter a shiny. This gives you a little bit more control. You might particularly love a certain Pokemon's shiny, and now you have the ability to control how often it can appear for you. And finally, we have the gold badge. The third subskill will always be gold for Pokemon you encounter that are the same species. An exclusive frame will be added to the profile icon that unlocks with the silver badge. If you have a gold badge for a Pokemon species, it will be even easier to encounter a shiny one. So again, even more boosted odds of shinies, and I think we get an even more special profile icon for unlocking the gold badge. I'm also really excited about the exclusive frame that will be added to the profile icon that unlocks with the silver badge. It's going to be an even more rare version of that, so that's pretty cool too. And the final note, this is super interesting. This is a complete change to the friendship levels that we knew in the past. The friendship level required to earn gold, silver, and bronze badges varies for each Pokemon species. Now this system is different from the one we currently have, which has friendship levels unlocking gold skills at friendship level 10, 40, and 100. That means you'd have to catch 100 Cresselia if you wanted to guarantee a gold skill in its level 50 slot. But this is saying that it's going to have different requirements for badges depending on the Pokemon species. I've already mentioned how much I love Heracross. It requires 16 friendship points to befriend it, which is much more expensive than, say, an Eevee that only requires 5 friendship points. My guess is that the requirements for befriending badges are going to correlate to the amount of friendship points required to catch it, but we'll find out once this is actually updated. All right, now here's some news that I'm sure a lot of us that have been playing for a while are really excited about. We have some limits being unlocked. So the research rank has been capped at 60, it's now going up to 65. The same for Pokemon levels, going up from 60 to 65. And we're seeing an update to max levels of certain main skills, and there's something really exciting. We are seeing Dream Shard Magnet go from 7 to 8, which indicates that main skills can go past 7. Metronome is also going from 6 to 7, recipe levels are going from level 60 to 65, and lastly, Pokemon Box max capacity is going from 1000 to 1200. Some balance adjustments. Research experience bonus is now getting a boost. This is great because we have 5 new research ranks to unlock, and if we have seen anything from the past, they are getting increasingly harder to level up to. So we are now getting 9% experience gained from the research experience bonus, whereas before it was 6%. So we're seeing a whole 3% added on. That's a 50% bonus to the original stat. That's great. I'm hoping that they will continue to update this as levels go on. And if you haven't already, I'd consider making a team of research experience bonus Pokemon for all 5 slots and using them on Sunday so that you can maximize your drowsy power along with your research experience bonus to get the most research experience bonus possible at least once a week. That will help you get more research ranks accomplished faster, allowing you to convert those research experience bonus points into dream shards once you've reached the level cap again. Energy recovery bonus is also getting a boost. The previous energy recovery bonus stat would simply give 14% more energy to all Pokemon on your team. It will still do that, but in addition to the Pokemon that has the energy recovery bonus in its sub-skill stats, will also be able to increase its energy to 105 if there's enough energy to do so. This isn't going to affect any of the other Pokemon on the team, so hopefully this will get expanded to the entire team if at least one Pokemon has that, but for now it's just for the Pokemon that has energy recovery bonus. This is a nice feature that's being added. They are including a scroll bar on the Pokemon Box, Sleep Style Decks, Ingredients Pocket, Items Pocket, and Pokemon Candies page. This is going to make it a lot easier to scroll down if you have a lot of Pokemon candies, a lot of items. So yeah, this is a great addition. I hope they continue to add better quality of life improvements to different parts of the UI. They're changing the way items are discarded. So if you go into your Items Pocket, you will see that there's a trash can icon all the way to the side of the item. Now you won't be able to see that. You'll have to tap into the item to see its details, and then you'll be able to delete it from there. I think this was a great adjustment because it was probably pretty easy for someone to accidentally hit that delete button if they weren't paying attention, and then several items were discarded. So good change there. Lastly, we have fixes to cooking-related bugs. Under certain conditions, when selecting no recipe, it was impossible to cook dishes that had not been created yet. After this bug fix, if the ingredients required for a not yet created dish are selected, cooking that dish will be prioritized. I never had any issues with this, and I didn't have this bug occur to me, but it sounds really frustrating if it did happen to any of you. So it's nice to see that that is being fixed. And hopefully we won't have to worry about that anymore. All right, guys, that is all the info we have for the Darkrai event and the new 2.7 update. Would love to hear your thoughts on some of these new features. Would love to hear your thoughts about what you think is going to happen during the Darkrai event. Let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.